Hi, my name is Clarissa and welcome to a new video, and today I'm wrapping up my month of January. So I read quite a lot in January and I've already started doing my actual reading goals in January because one of mine was to read manga. I've actually done that in January. So yeah, let's just get into it. And the first book we're going to talk about is Dark Dawn by J. Kristoff. So Dark Dawn is book 3 of the Nevernight Chronicles. And if you don't know what it's about, it follows an assassin called Mia, and she ends up kind of going to the school of assassins, and it then explores the kind of bigger picture around that. So I bought all these books and I got them as they came out. I did not read any before I got the next one, and I decided to read all of them together, back to back. I didn't like this series. I didn't like the writing. I thought the footnotes were really lazy. I know some people really like the footnotes, but for me, the fact that there were sassy comments in the footnotes that should have been in the text, world building that should have been in the text, and I just didn't like the character. With the first one, I didn't like a lot of the aspects, but I did think, you know what, it'll get better. And it didn't. I didn't like the whole love triangle thing that started happening, because the only character I did like disappeared for quite a lot of the series. So yeah, very, very disappointed, and I will be unhauling this at some point. And talking about manga, the first one I read this year was Fullmetal Alchemist. So I've read the first 3 volumes. I do have the Fullmetal edition here, and I know they are slightly different in terms of volumes when it comes to this. But I did read the 3-in-1 online, and I purchased myself this after I really enjoyed the first 3, and I also watched the Brotherhood anime, and I absolutely adore Mustang. Alphonse is so cute. I really, really enjoy this, and I really want to get back into it and read more. If you don't know what the series is about, it's about 2 brothers who try to bring their mum back from the dead. It goes terribly wrong. One of them loses their body, and then the other one loses their arm and leg, and it's them trying to get their bodies back, and chaos kind of ensues. And yeah, really, really good series so far, and definitely check out the anime if you haven't already. But yeah, this is a very, very popular manga series. And the next book we're going to talk about is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I loved this book, but I will preface this by saying do not read this if you are struggling with your mental health, if you're triggered by anything in this book, which I will leave in my description down below, the list of things that you may be triggered by when reading this book. But it's about a group of 4 guys who've known each other from college, and it follows them growing older. It focuses more on one of them out of the 4. It is a very heartbreaking tale. It's beautifully done. I know it's a bit controversial for some people. The only issue I have with this book is the stigma that surrounds it on BookTube, in which people film themselves crying, being in pain, and it's supposed to be a really good experience when I just find it quite traumatic. I don't know why you'd want everyone else to see you breaking down on camera, but that's just me. If I'd filmed myself for the section 4, I think, of this book, I would have been a mess. I couldn't even read because I was crying so much. But I really do recommend this if you're feeling up to it, if you're not triggered by anything, if you want a really good character-driven story, this is it for you. And it is just beautifully, beautifully done. But yes, it is a book to go into cautiously, and do not force yourself to read it just because other people are reading it. I really enjoyed it, but I did go into a deep kind of low point for a few days, and other people have done that with this book as well, and if you're not up to that, do not read it. But yeah, A Little Life. And next 2 books I read this month are The Final Empire and The Will of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson, which is books 1 and 2 in the Mistborn trilogy. If you haven't heard of the series, the first book revolves about this group of bandits who essentially go and try to take down the Dark Lord, because in this world the bad guy won, everyone's living in a really horrible world, and these people kind of go, you know what, we need to change that. And it has a magic system as well in this world, in which if you consume a metal you gain a certain power. That is a misting if you can consume 1 metal and gain that power, or you're a Mistborn if you can consume all the metals and have all the powers. It is a really good series. This was the first epic fantasy series I read, so this is a reread for me. I love the characters in it. It does focus a lot on politics in the second and third books, and I know some people have gone off of it because of that, but it is a really worthwhile series to read if you want to get into fantasy, especially if you want to get into Brandon Sanderson, the king of fantasy. And the last one I've read this month is another manga, and it is Orange Volume 1. So this is the complete collection, which is available in the kind of English editions. This is a very popular manga on BookTube. It's one that a lot of people go on about. It is about a group of friends at school, and this girl gets a letter from her future self saying to befriend the new kid at school. And as you go along the story, it becomes clear why she's hinted to do certain things, why she's not in these letters, and it's just a really beautiful story. I didn't expect to like it as much as I have. I do also have volume 2 waiting to be read, which I really want to get to, but I'm trying to pace it out because I am really enjoying it. But yeah, it's a really good series, and it is one that a lot of booktubers recommend as their starter ones, and since I'm only starting manga, I definitely agree with it, because for me the thing that terrifies me about manga is the fact that there are so many volumes in some series, One Piece being the main one. So yes, get into Orange if you kind of just fancy something to kind of dip your toes in, have a good kind of romance, friendship, kind of story with that kind of fantastical element to it as well. Really good. And there you have it, there's my January wrap up, in which everything was 5 stars, really 4 to 5 stars, apart from obviously Dark Dawn, which was 2 stars as a whole for the series. Hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below if you've read any of these, if you agree, if you don't agree, and as I said before, I will put in the description all the triggers for Little Life and where to find me on socials. Okay, see you in the next video. Okay, bye!